Hello there. My name is David Kettlewell, and I've been a professional author for 40 years. I started off as a Night Ritter news correspondent and then was a national editor for medical publications, and then wrote freelance articles for magazines, and I've written 13 books. Some of them are with publishers, and some of them I self-published, and also was a TV producer and did 220 TV shows and 400 radio shows. So I've kind of been in this communication thing for a long time. My mother was a writer. I spoke with Michelle DeFilippo from 1106 Design on the phone today about her helping me with some of my projects and layout. And I suggested to her that it might be helpful if I made a little video that could give you some advice on creating a book and marketing a book. So I'm going to give you some thoughts about how to go about moving forward in an effective way with creating your book. And then I'm going to talk a little bit about the web marketing side, since I always look at book projects as, there's creating it and then there's marketing it, and they're both about the same size of a job, actually. So it's worth really taking them seriously and doing a good job. So I'll show you a couple of the books. This is one of them, Love of Chromatic Harmonica, Techniques and Advice from the World's Best. It's big enough to use as a weapon and hit somebody on the head with. This book has interviews with 34 of the world's top musicians on chromatic harmonica. And it's backed by a website and Facebook group and YouTube channel that are top ranked in the world, even higher than Honor and Suzuki. So if you go on to Google and you type in chromatic harmonica, we're going to be ranked 5th or 6th in the world. Our YouTube channel, Masters of Harmonica, is ranked #1 in the world. And our Facebook groups, we have 11 of them. Out of the top 10 in the world on Facebook on chromatic harmonica, I own 8. So we have dominated that field, and I understand how to get good rankings on the web. So, and I'll share a little bit about that. So that was one book. This is the most recent one, Working Together on Collaboration, which was about how to work effectively with others. And you'll see these are very professionally designed books. They certainly, are up to a national standard. That's for sure. Okay, well, let's talk about your project. First of all, I think it's totally cool that you want to do a book, and I'm sure you've thought about it for quite a while, and you must have something you want to say to the world that's important, so good for you. And so here would be my thoughts. I think that books that have a mission of serving people tend to do better. So, if you're going to share something that's going to help other people, that can help you. There is no replacement for professional writing skill. Writing books is a matter of talent, desire, and experience and training. If you don't have those things, you need to hire a writer. An unprofessionally written book, all of them are failures to my knowledge. I don't think that I would even encourage anyone to move forward under any circumstances with a book that was poorly written. But author services can be pretty reasonable. The book absolutely must be edited. Even a professional writer like me, I hire editors and I get out of their way. I don't even talk with them while they're editing it. I don't want to know what they want to change. I just let them change it. And that should be done by someone who has experience in the industry and worked professionally as an editor for many years. That's a high-level job in the writing field. Now, I was an editor. So here I was an editor, but I still hire an editor, because it's like a doctor. You don't want to be your own patient. You don't want to be your own client as an attorney. So I depend on those services. And so I would say that, you also want to have the book designed professionally so that the cover is well done and by someone who's done them and is a specialist in that field, hopefully, where they know how to do a book cover. You have to get across that title right away, and it has to have impact, but still be professional. So that needs to be done properly. Then, of course, there's the layout. And it's extremely important that the layout of your pages allow the reader to read easily and quickly. That's very, very important. So these things are really critical to the success of your book, and I would encourage you to use professional services to augment what you don't know. And I think that probably you are the expert in what you want to say, but if you're not a writer, how to say it, you might want to put in a writer's hands. If you want to contact me about a writing project that you want to hire a writer and you opt not to go with Michelle's team, which is a great team, you can reach me at d.kettlewell, that's Kettlewell at live.com. So that's d.kettlewell at live.com. Or you can go to Masters of Harmonica and use the contact link, and that will send me an encrypted message. Okay, so that's a little bit about, the process and how to use experts intelligently. I would say also, if an editor tells you to change something and they want to move it and change it, let them. They're quite good at that. That's what they do. Now, the other part of your project will be marketing, because you're going to have a way to get that book selling. In my case, I already had a pretty strong website on chromatic harmonica. I'm one of the leading players in the world of that instrument. So I had thousands and thousands of people. I have over 1 million views of my YouTube videos on how to play the instrument, and 309 videos posted, or 320. So, huge web presence, 10 or 11 Facebook groups running about harmonica, like Love of Chromatic Harmonica Repair, Chromatic Harmonica Review, on and on and on and on, and a YouTube channel. And I add a lot of content. So the formula for success on the web is you create a website, because that's typically what's going to get the ranking out of Google. Then you have a YouTube channel and a Facebook group, and you keep on feeding them fresh content, videos, articles, whatever, because the Google algorithm will pick that up and will rank you higher when people go to look up something like what you're doing. And you could interview people that are experts in your field. You can talk personally on your videos. You can type in on Facebook. It's fairly straightforward to build YouTube channels, Facebook groups, and even websites, which I learned to do. So you can do those things. And the more you put into your marketing, the more you're going to get out of it. Now let's talk for a moment about whether you should self-publish the book and print it through someone with the assistance of Michelle and her team at 1106 Design, or whether you should approach a publisher. All things considered, I would rather self-publish. I have both. The reason is that I can make north of 30% profit margin on a book sale if I go through, like Amazon, but if I go through a standard publisher, I'd be lucky to do better than 7.5 or 8%. So there's a huge difference in what you'd receive income-wise. You also, when you go with a standard publisher, you have to sign off the rights to the book for 50 years. You don't really own the book anymore. They make decisions and they own it. And you might want to cut a deal on a movie or sell the whole project to someone. I've had that where I wrote books and just sold the whole project. You don't have the legal control anymore if you're working with a publisher, and they don't do much, and they're doing less every year to promote them. So unless you're really, really well known, very famous, they're not going to put much into marketing your book, but you'll have to. That's if you want the job done right, you kind of got to do it yourself. That's kind of true. The other thing is, it's not uncommon for me to do a self-published book and then have it be picked up by a publisher who sees it and then they want it. So you can use it as a conduit to doing that. I think that the operative word is control. When you self-publish, you have control. But again, I have relationships with publishers who take my books and publish them, and then I have the ones that are self-published. The books that I write, most of them, I have a client that wants it, so I'm working for them to produce what they're looking for. So anyhow, I hope that this video will provide you some useful input. You've learned that marketing is an important part of what you do on the web, that you're going to want to be thinking about a website, and you're going to want to be thinking about a Facebook group or several Facebook groups and a YouTube channel, and constantly updating those with fresh content. The other thing I can say is that the business is a blast. I think that having a chance to be a writer, you couldn't ask for a more fun life. I have a great time. I play music, chromatic harmonica with composers around the world, and then I also write books, and I don't think I could envision a happier life. So I strongly recommend people to get into writing books, and you'll learn. It's like anything else. You learn as time goes by, you get better and better, and you get faster to get your results too. But don't be afraid to rely on the assistance and advice of trained professionals. It's just like your house. If you were building a house, you'd want to work with professionals that had done it before. And I've seen a lot of people give advice on what to do with a book who weren't experienced, but I've never really seen that advice as being valid. And I would know the difference. I'm just saying that most of what people say that aren't in the business, it's just not accurate. You want to go to pros to understand what's going on in this field if you don't know. But one of these days you will know, because you'll have done it. Again, if you want to reach out to me, my name is David Kettlewell. That's d.kettlewell@live.com. And I would also mention, if you want to look at my web imprint, you would go to the website, mastersofharmonica.com, and you'll see what are we offering. 60 videos on the homepage, pretty cool. And then if you want to go to the Facebook group, I'd go to Love of Chromatic Harmonica. And if you want to do the YouTube channel, Masters of Harmonica, and you'll see how do all those three work together, and we interconnect each one, mentioning the other so that the Google algorithm picks up that they're integrated and working together. Good luck on your project.